I've been building a software consultancy over the past 3 years, and for the past, I think, about 340 days, I've been recording on a daily basis and putting something up. Now, I'm 20 years old at the minute. I started this company when I was 17, and it's taught me a whole bunch of things. And part of this, the aim to record every day is that, I want to document something really big. Since last year, I've more than doubled the revenue of the company, both in actually profit and revenue. And so I've documented this throughout this year. I think there's an evolution in my thinking that you can observe through little small updates and things like that. In many videos, I try and talk about the lessons that I might have learned along the way, right? So different considerations about business models or how to keep clients, whatever. But fundamentally, I also try and regularly update people on what is my thinking, what are my days looking like, things like that. And this video is all about what are my current reflections, what is kind of on my mind 3 years in, what lessons have I learned. Now, well, the first main thing is number of marketing hours. Second thing is relationships, in-person relationships, networking, things like that. And the third thing is just giving away more free stuff, just doing more free work. I think it's one of the best ways to get with, basically get to people who are above your league, like founders, entrepreneurs, companies that are bigger than, you can otherwise reach. So the first thing about hours worked, I think just historically, it's not that I haven't worked enough hours, but it's that I haven't worked enough hours on marketing, business development, things like that, because these are all functions which are not typically familiar to me. I came from development, and I basically marketing is this big, kind of amorphous word, which fits in a lot of things. Business development as well. It's like this big thing, and historically, as a bootstrap founder, it's very, very easy to get distracted by client fulfillment, because client fulfillment will pull you in with its deadlines and whatever. There's videos of me back in March staying up until 4 a.m. trying to debug something for a client. Now, in the long run, you need to spend time on marketing, but in the short run, marketing is never a priority. It's never urgent. And so historically, I haven't prioritized that enough. And I'm very acutely cognizant of this fact recently. For most of this year, I was servicing one client in particular who wanted me on their job, on their kind of project, and I obliged. The money was good, but I didn't carve out and force out enough time for the marketing function side of things. So that was a mistake that I made, and so now that's very much on my mind. One of my main goals next year is to really double down on the numbers of hours worked and hours done. Of hours worked and hours done doing marketing. The second thing is people relationships. Like, the best way I have seen to basically get to clients who are above your league, and what I mean by that is a lot of people right now are obsessed with, you see this a lot in the coaching industry, but basically somebody will make a tiny bit of money and then they will use that to preach to other people who have made even less money, and then they just, that's how they work. And so some guy will make, let's say, 20 grand a month, no, even 10, less than that. Literally, you'll find some guy who's making maybe 7, 8, 10 grand a month, and then he's going to preach to people who are making 2 grand a month on how to make 10. And then, he helps those people a little bit, and then he just builds a business off the back of that. Now, the reality is people with 2 grand don't have that much money to give you in the first place. And so, I think the real interesting money, my first client was worth about 8,000 USD. My latest 2 clients have been worth about 70,000 and 100,000. And the way I did that was working with bigger businesses, because, let's say I add 10% of their revenue. They're doing $1 million a year. 10% is 100,000. And so it's a lot easier to make larger sums of money in absolute, because the size of their business is bigger. So any relative impact you have has a bigger business value. And so I want to work with bigger businesses. Now, how do you do that? It's very hard to do that and try and provide value through guidance or whatever at face value, because you don't know what the problem of $1 million business is in the first place, right? And I'm in that position where I'm not there yet. And so how can I possibly get these people as clients? Relationships and giving away free stuff. These two, I think, are the best ways to do that, because relationships allow you to create a communication channel with somebody who's ahead of you. And you can go to them for advice, you can go to them for things like that. But if they ever have the problem that you solve for, they'll come to you. And also, you can openly test offers with them until they say yes to something, if you have a good relationship. So if you create a genuine friendship with somebody and they have trust in you, and you say, hey, listen, I want to run yeah, I want to run an email marketing campaign for you. Can I do that? Um, would you pay me, let's say, I don't know, would you pay me $5,000 a month to do that? And they'll say yes or no, right? But if they say no, you can ask why. And you can say what's useful for you. And you can figure out what their problems are. And if you do not have that relationship, it is impossible to really get an in-depth understanding of somebody who is in that position, right? One of the main like pillars of marketing is understand your customer, whatever. If you want customers who are above you in terms of size and things like that, you have to understand them. If you want to understand them, then you want to get to know them personally, as many of them as possible. So that's a big reason why I moved to London. I want to work with bigger businesses. I want to work with bigger clients. There's this whole like gold rush in the coaching industry for basically people going from 0 to 1. There's a whole consulting industry out there, right? There's Accenture, KPMG, McKinsey, whatever they do. Like collectively, these consulting firms do over hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue from consulting. So there is much more out there beyond teaching people to make 10 grand a month. And I undertook. I have this thing, Dev Launch, where I helped some people make some agencies of their own. But fundamentally, I want to continue to help bigger businesses and things like that through data and basically software consulting. So yeah, I'm focused a lot on relationships. And then the other side is like giving free stuff. If you like right now, I want to figure out what acute problem can we solve for businesses that are bigger than our own. Without knowing their problems, I think the best way is going up to them and saying, hey, can I do this thing for you for free? If they say no, it's because you're not solving a problem. And so I think it's one of the easiest ways to validate is go and openly ask if they would like free work, and ask where's that free work most useful to them. Over time, if you do enough, you will start to realize where there is more demand, less demand, things like that. Now, I think free work is this like incredible tool. Like you can utilize this ability to give away stuff for free at any level. I made a video a while ago about like how to start for free and then get paid. And there was a guy who commented who said, yeah, I did this as a math tutor, it worked super well. And he had done it before. It wasn't from my video, unfortunately. But I hope some people learn from that. But it's like a lot of people start for free and then eventually get paid. And it's a great way to start. But I think even when you start making more money, doing stuff for free is still an excellent way of getting to people who are kind of out of your league, right? If you go to if you have zero skills and you go to a founder who's doing 10 million a year, there's probably very few things that you can do for free that he doesn't already have sorted. Like he doesn't really care. And so you have to go to somebody who's smaller, right? You can only go to somebody 1-2 steps ahead of you. But when let's say you're at level 3, you can still use free work to get somebody to somebody who's at level 5 or 6. And so that's, I think, what we're trying to do at the minute. We have like one pilot project with luxury real estate company in Belgium and stuff. I'm very excited about these projects. And then I'm also focused on just trying to improve the quality of content and like genuinely give away more value. I did a presentation, I think 2 days ago, where like I made out some slides, and that was the first time I did that. And it felt pretty good in some way. Like it took some time, but it felt good. And it also, I think, will be useful for me. The teacher learns twice. But I think I'm really focused on trying to give away more stuff, because I'm realizing how much of an excellent tool that is, because it builds so much trust in a world where everybody wants to take. If you give, people will listen to you. And if you solve a real problem, people want to give back. Like if you genuinely help somebody, people will want to give back. And so selling becomes really easy. And these are my main priorities at the minute. And I'm realizing like these things are, important things. I have a bunch of other reflections and things that I'm thinking about on a life level and stuff like that. But fundamentally, like right now, those are the priorities. So I'm going out for a lunch with a guy in real estate here in the UK. He's based up north, but he's trying to move to London. He's also a relatively young guy. And I'm excited. Like, this is why I want to move here, because I want the relationship. I want to meet with more people who are ahead of me and learn from them. Trying to help them. Like, how can I help? What are the problems, and where does my company fit into all this? How can we refine? Historically, we have a service offering that has been too broad. That has been a big mistake of mine. It was too broad. And so I'm trying to figure out where can we fit ourselves in and solve one specific problem really, really well. And I think a lot of that starts by just validating it. And if you want to validate it, you have to speak to the right people, speak to the right customers. And yeah, that's basically the main things that I'm thinking about at the minute. Um, yeah, and the other thing is just I want more like on a personal level. There's more things on my mind around routine stability, but I think that's for another video. Um, but yeah, it's been a good first few months in London, getting to know the scene, and now I finally feel a little bit more settled in. I think moving here has been really paramount to my ability to think through problems and things like that. I feel much more capable as a problem solver now. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to head off to my lunch. Feel free to, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you watching the whole thing. And do comment any questions you have, and I try and read those and make videos out of them. I record every day, so I have plenty of opportunities to do so.